How long will my driver's license be suspended for first offense OUI in Massachusetts? Hi everyone, Anthony Riccio here, founding attorney of Riccio Law, a Massachusetts criminal defense and personal injury law firm with offices in both Quincy and Attleboro, Massachusetts. The question regarding license suspension periods for first offense OUI in Massachusetts depends on a couple different factors. First, whether or not the individual refused or took the breath test at the time of their arrest. And second, the outcome of their case, whether or not they took a plea deal, went to trial and were found guilty, or went to trial and were found not guilty. So first, there is an initial license suspension for individuals charged with operating under the influence in Massachusetts. So at the time of the person's arrest, if they refuse to take the breath test, their license will be suspended for 6 months or 180 days. If the person at the time of their arrest agrees to take the breath test and they fail it, that meaning they registered a .08 or greater, their license will be suspended for 30 days. Now, once those respective license suspension periods expire, the individual does have the right to go to the registry of motor vehicles and have their license reinstated, even if the criminal case is still pending in the courts. However, the individual will be subject to an additional license suspension if they take a continuance without a finding on the operating under the influence charges as part of a plea deal, or if they're found guilty of operating under the influence after trial. So in addition to the initial license suspension at the time of arrest, if the individual receives a continuance without a finding on the charge of operating under the influence as part of their plea agreement, they will receive an additional 45 to 90-day license suspension. More likely than not, it will be 45 days. Now, one of the benefits of this particular plea agreement is the shorter license suspension. And additionally, once the individual is enrolled in the 24D program, which will be part of the plea agreement, they will be eligible to appear at the registry and apply for a hardship license, which would most likely grant them a 12-hour window each day where they are able to drive. Now, once that license suspension period expires, that individual will be eligible to have their driver's license reinstated in full. However, if the individual charged with operating under the influence chooses not to accept a plea deal and go to trial, if they are found guilty of operating under the influence after trial, their license will be suspended for 1 year, and they will not be eligible for a hardship license for at least 90 days, in addition to having proof that they've enrolled in the 24D program. However, if that person who goes to trial is found not guilty of the operating under the influence charge, they will not face any additional license suspension. So there are a few different factors to consider regarding the license suspension, and as I just discussed, there's the potential that an individual will face 2 separate license suspensions as a result of their operating under the influence charges. Now, for individuals that have out-of-state driver's licenses, their driver's license will not be suspended by the registry in Massachusetts, but their driving privileges in Massachusetts will be suspended or revoked, and it's more likely than not that the registry in the state where their driver's license was issued will be notified of the operating under the influence charges in Massachusetts. So if you find yourself in a situation where you've been charged with operating under the influence in Massachusetts, feel free to reach out to my office at 508-226-4500 to schedule a free consultation. Thank you.